One of the funniest memories that I have of my time at the BCM was definitely my sophomore year. It was Serve Knox Week, and so we were doing different service projects throughout the city of Knoxville. And this day specifically was our time spent in the Kindred Nursing Home. We were playing bingo with all these sweet little old ladies who were living there. And I remember Cole Price was calling out the numbers, and that was pretty funny in and of itself. But then all of a sudden Bo stands up and he says, "All right, whoever wins this next round of bingo gets this $5 bill."
Junior year, as I find out that I was going to be president, he was president during my sophomore year. So one night, I asked him if I could meet with him, and we met for about an hour, and out of his time, and we talked about vision of the BCM and just what he tried to do during his year as president, and what maybe I could do, or just vision for the BCM for what this year could look like. And it just meant a lot to me because he was a big mentor and leader to me.
My favorite BCM moment is actually right when I first started to come to the BCM. I was lost and Rosalie was downstairs, and I just happened to wander in the building, and Rosalie welcomed me in and told me about the place and started praying with me and really got me involved here. And that's what not only started me at the BCM, but it's what started me on my path to a closer relationship with God.
Some of my favorite BCM memories actually took place in my Laurel apartment in my sophomore and junior years. There was one time in particular where we had about 40 people in my apartment frying Oreos, being hooligans, just up to playing board games and hanging out. And it was someone's bright idea to see how many of us could fit on the elevator. And so we fit 20 people and a rolly chair on the elevator, and definitely maxed out the weight, but there are just lots of laughs and memories about that night.
Pat's birthday, and we went over to his house, and they got him like 20 McDoubles as a cake. And we're just sitting there kind of chilling. Cole disappears for a little while, and then he comes back, and he's like got a high school wrestling suit on, and he's like pops those straps, and he's like, "Who wants to wrestle, boys?" And Pat stands up. I don't even think Pat wanted wrestling. He's just going to the kitchen or something. Cole just wraps up around him, tries to wiggle him around. Pat's a way bigger dude. He just sets him down, kinda.
I think my favorite moment from the BCM was probably my freshman year. Early on in the semester, we had some of the male residents kind of invite freshmen like myself and Bo to come watch Hot Rod in their apartment with them, and we loaded up their room and spent all night just hanging out doing a men's event basically. But it was the first time that I felt a part of something, and it's been so cool to not only be a part of that my freshman year, but to continue in that trend of being someone who invites the younger guys to come alongside them and be a part of not only the BCM but a part of community.
My favorite memory from the BCM would have to be All Sing freshman year. That was the first event I really started getting involved here, and it really grew friendships with people and made me come around a lot more often.
I've enjoyed doing Friday Night Live for the past 3 years. It's exhausting, but it's always so much fun.
My favorite moment at the BCM would be this last fall semester when we all went whitewater rafting. That night before, we were all gathered around just talking and rocking in the chairs and sitting on the benches, and all of a sudden we broke out into worship, and that honest moment is what really brought me forward to the B, and just it let me know that this is where I needed to be and that these people are just truly meant with it.
I think my favorite memory of the BCM is just the intramural sports and just being able to have the friendships and able to play basketball with so many people, because I'm very known to talk a lot of trash, and most of the time I back it up, usually not, but it's okay, I'm known for that, and I just love that about the BCM, and just the competitiveness and the camaraderie we have with each other.
I would say my favorite memory would have to be Friday Night Live 2015, Unpredictable by Kevo. It makes me cringe every time I watch it, but I'm glad that I was able to bring so many people so much joy, and it's really cool to see how every freshman, since they've come here, has been able to see it and get a laugh out of it too.
Favorite memory is one word: nerdball.
The first spirit auction, we did it right before finals, and I remember I had the final the next day, and I went in, and everyone's looking at me. They were like, "Who's that weird-looking guy? Looks like some guy from the Civil War." So I took my final, and I got a really good grade on it. So I think it was all the
My favorite memory from the BCM is the group of girls that I lived with here my junior year. We would have story time every night, story time, and we'd just be up all night doing ridiculous things and having fun with each other, and that sense of community was amazing.
Probably my favorite moment from the BCM was the beginning of last year on the first TNT of the year when it was my very first TNT leading worship, and everything sounded great. We were going into worship and we were just about ready to start, and we go into worship and none of the sound is working. None of the instruments are working, none of the mics are working, and we kind of start freaking out. We don't know what we're going to do, and we're kind of scrambling, and we eventually just have a super acoustic set with just voices, and we were really worried about it, but it turned out to be one of the coolest TNTs because you just heard everyone's voice, and there were probably like 200 people in there, and it sounded incredible, and it was kind of God just showing me, saying, this ministry that you're going into, this thing that I've given you, it's not for your glory, it's not for the glory of the people on stage or for the glory of anyone other than me, and that He's going to get glory regardless.
My favorite memory, I have a lot of favorite memories, but one of my favorites is my freshman year. All the older guys would take us out to Red Robin to eat because we had some plump friends, so we'd go out there like every 2 weeks and we'd have a contest to see how many unlimited baskets of fries we could eat. We'd always have a plan to go do something athletic afterwards, like go hiking or go play basketball, but we never did any of those things after we ate all the fries. So that's probably one of my favorite memories.
From all the seniors, thank you BCM for being a part of our lives.